Well, hello and welcome back to, well, this is not the Faux world actually, but it is on the Jupiter Gaming server, which is the server that the Faux world exists on. This is a different world on the same server. This is called the Redstone world, and it's a creative place where you can try out some redstone builds. I was going to say something else like contraptions. But yeah, there's a lot of things here. I don't know what this is. This looks extraordinarily complicated, but anyway, what I thought we'd do is go through a tutorial. And this is the entrance. You're supposed to stand on this glowstone block and push that button. It pushes you inside. And I'm glitching out here. There we go. Welcome to XCP23X's Redstone tutorial. Follow the redstone to the entrance. Exits are located on the corners. Okay, so let's follow the redstone. Yes, this is an exit. You stand there and push the button. I'm not going to do that right now. Okay, here is the entrance. Enter below to learn more about the world of redstone. Alright, I'm going to go through the tutorial and read the signs. I did this once before, without recording it, and I did learn a couple things about redstone, so this may be useful. Welcome to this tutorial. Here you will learn all about how redstone works, but more importantly, why it works. This may seem unimportant. Why learn why it works if you know how to build circuits and join them together? Well, to build any complex circuitry efficiently, you need to create each component to fit that machine. An understanding of the working of redstone allows you to build anything. You don't need to search for how to build something that does X, you make it yourself. Anyway, lecture finished. Let's start the tutorial. Walk into the next room to learn the basics of redstone. Lesson 1, the basics. This is redstone dust. It's what carries power. Redstone power can travel 15 blocks. After that, it needs to be repeated in order to continue the signal. Walk on for an example. This is a redstone torch. It provides power to redstone dust, amongst other things. More about that later. So, this torch is powering this line of redstone. When it stops here, you can see the particle effects stop after 15 blocks. This is 16 blocks from the torch. There is no power here as it can only travel 15 at a time. Note how the dust gets darker as it gets farther away from the power source. Here's another torch. This is a redstone repeater. It is an easy way to continue redstone signal past 15 blocks. It will work anywhere along a redstone wire as long as the power behind it, as long as the block behind it is powered. For example, it could be on the 16th block from the power source. All of the following devices can power redstone. Stone pressure plate. Let's stand on it. See, it's powering it. A wood pressure plate. a button, a lever, redstone torch, this is I forget what they call this. A detector rail. Oh, I can't do it. I think there was originally a minecart here. But when a minecart goes over a detector rail, it sends out a signal, redstone power. This is a powered repeater. In the previous room, you saw objects that can power redstone. These are used mainly in inputs, but there is one other thing that can also power redstone: blocks. These are used in a lot of redstone and can have 3 states: unpowered, low-powered, and high-powered blocks. As the name suggests, unpowered blocks do nothing and are mainly used to stop wires crossing. Low-powered blocks are powered by redstone dust and can only give out power to redstone devices. They cannot give out power to redstone dust. That's the low-powered ones. However, if a block is directly powered by a redstone device, it is a high-powered block, and these can give out power to redstone dust, as well as to devices. And here are some examples. This is an unpowered block. Here is a torch here, and this is powering this redstone. So redstone is leading into the block, therefore this is a low-powered block. As you can see, it's not sending the signal out to this redstone, but it is sending a signal out to this device, which is a repeater. And here we have a torch going into a repeater. So a device is going into a block, which makes this a high-powered block. High-powered block is sending signal out to a device and out to redstone. So a low-powered block can power a device but not redstone. A high-powered block can power both. Now you know how blocks can be powered. It's time to learn about the redstone torch. Go around the corner to continue. Okay, this is a redstone torch. In its normal state, it emits redstone power. It can power redstone dust sideways, like so, in all directions. It can transmit power downwards. So this torch occupies this entire space to the left as I'm looking at it, of this block. And below this block is this block that has dust on it. So it is powering downwards. It can go sideways. It can transmit power sideways. And they can also high-powered blocks from underneath. So this is a high-powered block, and you can tell because it's powering this redstone. So it's going from the torch to this block, and that block is a high-powered block transmitting redstone energy to the right on this dust. Although these principles are used a lot, the most unique and useful property of redstone torches is inversion. If a redstone torch is connected to any powered block, it will turn off. Because of this, they are very useful for inverting signals. So here we have a redstone torch in its normal state. And here we have a redstone torch in its inverted state. So the torch is there, but it's not lit. So here's a demonstration of what we have learned so far. The button high powers the block. So a button is a device. A redstone device will high power a block. So a button switches on the power for a second, and then it switches off automatically. So it high powers the block, which emits power to the redstone dust next to it. It also inverts the torch, as it is also connected. Okay, so a high powered block going into a torch turns the torch off. See that? And here, well, let's guess what's going to happen. This button will high power this block, which will light up this redstone. This redstone will low power this block, which... I'm not sure. Will this torch turn off? Let's try that. It does. So a low powered block attached to redstone torch will invert the torch, but it will not send the power to this redstone dust on the other side. Oh, and here's the explanation. The button high powers the block, which powers the dust. The dust low powers the second block, which causes the torch to invert. The second line of dust is not powered, as block 2 is only low powered. So this becomes a low powered block when redstone dust is going into it. Let's go around the corner to learn about repeaters. Now for the final part of the lesson, repeaters. As the name suggests, repeaters repeat power. We touched on this earlier, but now we'll go into more detail. A repeater only allows power to travel in one direction. Try to power it another way, and it won't work. So in electronics, I believe that's what a diode does. It sends electric power in one direction only. So here we have a torch which is powering the repeater. You can see the repeater has sort of an arrow shape, and this is in the back of it. The torch is in the back of this block, this repeater, and it's powering that one, but it's not powering any of the other ones, because it's to the side of these two and then the front of this one. Repeaters have 4 delay settings, setting 1, 2, 3, and 4. These relate to the number of ticks each delay lasts. Here's a magical signal from behind the wall. So the wall is high powered from behind. Okay. Flick the switch and then turn it off after. Okay, I'll turn that on. Power is coming out from the back. Okay, let's turn that off. Let's connect it to some repeaters set to delays. Remember, all of the first ones get the pulse at the same time. So this is a pulsing power. See that? Turns off, on and off. And on and off. And over here, all of the first one gets the first ones get the pulse at the same time. Oh, let's turn this on again. So this repeater is in the first position. This one in the second. Actually, somebody screwed these up. This is the first, second. Oh, I can't change it. Maybe this is deliberate. Okay. So delay 1, 2, and 3, and 4. You can see how the power is coming into these at the same time, but it's reaching the end at a different speed. Switch that off. Go around the corner. Repeater delays can be utilized to make things such as clocks. So turn this on. So this is a device connected to this block, which turns it into a high-powered block. The redstone dust is activated here, which goes into this repeater, which goes into that repeater. Redstone dust goes... Hold on here. No, I'm wrong. It doesn't go that way. The arrow is facing that way. So the power comes out here, goes into this repeater, which flows around this dust, goes this way and this way, then back to this dust, which powers this block, inverting the torch and turning it off. Then it turns on again, so this is a clock. Because of the delay built into the repeaters, it takes time for the signal to flow around this loop. How does this work? Oh, now we get the explanation, which I think I figured out. The torch powers the repeater, which powers the next. When the wire connected to the torch is powered, the torch turns off. It inverts, and the repeaters turn off in order. When the lack of power reaches the torch, it turns back on, creating a cycle. The lever powers the block in the down position, holding the torch off and stopping the clock. Let's just look at that one more time. Quick note on powering blocks. This is how you've seen it done before. A signal into the block from dust low powers it, like this. However, a signal over it also powers it, which is useful for powering strips of torches or cutting corners. So here, the redstone dust goes into the side of the block, low powering the block. Here, it goes over the top of the block. This brings us to the end of the lesson, the basics. Here's some quick revision before you go. Or a review, I think it means. High-powered blocks are powered by anything except dust, and will power anything. Low-powered blocks are powered only by dust and will power anything except dust. Repeaters are useful for long runs and to add delays and high-powered blocks from the sides. Torches invert signals and are useful for high-powering blocks from underneath. And for... looks like part of that is missing. All user inputs, high-power blocks, and they are directly connected to. And last but not least, redstone power only travels 15 blocks without repeating. Before we go, can you work out how this works? Okay. So the redstone torch is powering this redstone dust, which is going into this block. So this is a low-powered block because it's powered by dust. The power travels to this repeater because the repeater is pointed directly into this block. This is a high-powered block. It's interesting that the powered blocks don't give off any visual signal that they're powered. That would probably be helpful. So the high-powered block, because of this, because it's high-powered, it activates this redstone. The redstone goes into this block, which means this is a low-powered block. And a low-powered block will power a device, such as a repeater. And we can stand on this pressure plate to open the exit. And it closed right behind me. So let's try the exit in the corner here. We stand right in the middle of this redstone block and push that button. And it will push us out. And I'm kind of glitching, so I'll jump up and move around a little bit. There we go. Okay, thank you to this community member X, CP23X, for your excellent redstone tutorial. This has been R.A. Casper, and I'm not taking credit for that. I'm only taking credit for reading it. So I hope that was helpful. If it was, please give a like to the video, and I will see you guys next time.